Hi everybody, welcome. My name is Jody from Yoga by the Lake, and this is my mini 30-minute gentle yoga class that I broadcast live from Yoga by the Lake upstairs in the loft during our cooler season, and then hopefully we'll be getting out onto the grass down by the lake shortly. I'm very excited for that. If you are new to gentle yoga, we use quite a bit of props in my classes. So if you have a block or two, I invite you to have it ready for you for your use. Straps are super helpful as well. This is a Mexican blanket, but you could use any type of blanket. And when we come to our gentle seat, which we will in a moment, go ahead and you may place this underneath your sit bones just to lift the hips up a bit if the inner groin is a little tight. A bolster is also a really nice tool for our gentle yoga classes. So upstairs in the loft, I have all of these props and much, much more to make sure that we're all super comfortable and able to deeply get into those poses in a safe and relaxed way. So, once again, welcome. My name is Jody from Yoga by the Lake, and we are upstairs live in my loft. So feel free to just take a moment to settle. We're going to find ourselves in a nice, comfortable posture, sitting up nice and tall if that's available to you. If it's not, you can lay down, not a problem. And I am placing my blocks underneath my knees to give a bit more of support to my knees. And I actually have a little bit of an injury I'm working through. So this is going to support me. If you'd like to have your blocks in hand for this, you may. Or again, that blanket underneath the sit bones. So we're going to start really gently just by finding that comfortable seat. So let's find our sit bones grounding down into our prop or the mat or the earth, and start to stack vertebrae on top of vertebrae as we lengthen through the spine. And then we can start by rolling the shoulders forward up to the ears and then dropping them down the back body. Not in that high salute, but in a gentle opening of the chest. The chin is going to come parallel to the floor, so we're creating some length in the cervical spine. And then we're just going to lean back ever so slightly, allowing the spine to elongate. And now that we've found this beautiful posture, just start to allow the body to settle in. And if it feels right, you could close the eyes here, listening to my prompts. And just start to breathe. Allow the breath to enter through the nose and exit the nose. Start to become aware of the body. Maybe that starts with a gentle body scan as you start to notice anywhere you're holding tension or tightness or expectation. Maybe you're feeling relatively fatigued tonight. It's all normal, it's all okay. There's no need to pass any judgment or attach to any stories or narratives. Just notice. And maybe, if you feel so inclined to do so, you bring a bit of breath to some of these places that are maybe a little tight, a little tired. And what that means is that, for instance, say the hips, where we carry a lot of stress. You're breathing, visualizing the hips becoming full of breath, And then as you exhale, they begin to soften and release with your exhale. So it's just a visualization technique. If you've been practicing yoga for a while, then it's a technique of actually moving the breath to different places in the body. So I invite you to explore that for just a moment or two. Sending the breath where you need it the most. And if you're struggling with visualizing it, don't worry, it's okay. Just breathe, just notice. So start to soften through the forehead, relaxing the temples and softening the eyes. Begin to release the jaw, releasing the tongue from the roof of the mouth. Allow the body to relax and release a little bit deeper. And again, relaxing and releasing through the body a little bit more. And we're going to start with a pranayama. So this is a breath technique. And for this pranayama, we're just going to do a very simple belly breathing technique. So what we'll do here is we'll inhale for a count of 4. We'll pause at the height of the inhale, and then we'll exhale for a count of 4, pausing at the base of that exhale. So we're going to start by taking a nice inhale to exhale. And then we'll inhale for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, pausing here. And exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1, pausing. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, pause. And exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. Continue just like this, inhaling for 4, pausing at the height, and then exhaling for 4. A few more rounds just like this. And if you're having trouble with breathing into the belly, maybe you place your hands at the belly just to feel the inhale and exhale. Allow the mind to be completely filled with sensations of the breath. Wherever you are, make this your last and final round, and we'll all meet in gentle breathing. Good. If it feels authentic to you, can bring the hands into Anjali Mudra. The thumbs are going to press into heart center, fingers spread wide, palms pressed together. If that doesn't feel quite right, maybe you keep the hands on the belly or one hand on the heart and one hand on the belly. And so from here, we'll set the intention for our practice today. For these mini mindful moments, I was going to call it something else. That's okay. For these mini gentle yoga series, I invite you to be curious about your own body, about the practice in general. And I invite you to explore that during our practice. So maybe that's your intention, is just to be curious, to be present and here and curious about what's going on. So just spend a moment with that intention, sending it deep into the heart space. When you're ready, we'll go ahead and rub the palms of the hands together. This dissipates a little bit of energy, also wakes us up a hair. And bring those hands over the eyes once they're nice and warm. Blinking the eyes open underneath the palms. And then releasing the hands down. Welcome. Thank you for joining me today. So from here, we're going to stay seated. We're going to start with some very gentle shoulder rolls. So we're going to inhale up and then exhale, roll down. Now your body might talk to you during this practice, right? It might tell you you need to stay in a certain spot and just breathe. Go ahead and switch directions. It might give you some sort of story that goes along with the sensation. Good. And all of this is totally normal. And if you need to pause at any time, we can start to come into stillness. I invite you to pause. I invite you to breathe and spend some time with that sensation. Let's sit up nice and tall, and we're going to take the chin to the chest and then slowly start to roll the head. We'll inhale as we drop back and exhale as we come forward. And go ahead and switch directions. Good, and start to slow that down like a top running out of energy, just sitting up nice and tall. Beautiful. Good, so we're going to start with some gentle twists. At this point you have the blocks under your knees and you want to let them go, you can. I'm going to keep mine underneath. We're going to take a nice big inhale in, allow those arms to come up overhead, and then we're going to exhale to the left. Go ahead and twist gently to look behind you. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, and exhale, twist a little deeper. We're wringing out the digestive system here. Good. Big breath in, and then exhale, slowly release the twist. We're going to take a nice big inhale all the way up. And then exhale to twist to look behind. Keep inhaling, lengthening that spine, and then exhaling, twisting just a bit deeper. Good. On your next big inhale, get nice and tall, and then on that exhale, start to release the twist. Beautiful. From here, we're going to inhale the arms all the way up overhead, hinging forward like we have an imaginary ballerina bar over our hip crests there, and we're going to take our fingers and stilt them onto the floor. From here, we'll inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, start to hinge forward just a little deeper. Maybe you rock from side to side. Good. Maybe you sink down and let the head hang. Good. Let's take a nice big inhale and start to walk the hands back up. We're going to take the palms of the hands and place them behind the hips. We're going to peel the chest open, and maybe the gaze lifts here. Breathing in through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Beautiful. Let's come all the way back up to a gentle seat. So I turned the heat on and now I am warm, but that's okay. We want to be a little warmer versus cooler when we practice, especially gentle yoga, because we want the body to soften and not feel like it has to continue to warm us up. So from here, we're going to take a tabletop posture. So two ways to come into this. One, you can take the knees together in this mermaid pose, right? And then come up onto your knees. The other option, if it's in your practice and it feels good, is to roll over the knees, just like this. Beautiful. So let's check out our alignment here. We're going to take 2 fists and place them between the knees to find our hips distance. And we're going to stack the wrists underneath the elbows underneath the shoulders. The palms and the fingers are spread nice and wide. The palms are pressing down into our mat or the earth. Good. From here, we're going to inhale, lengthening the spine, and then exhale, start to roll back into big circles in the hips. Good. In reverse direction. Good, and start to come all the way to center. From here, we're going to take our cat-cow. So we're going to inhale, and as we do, the belly's going to drop, the tail is going to lift, and the gaze is going to lift. As we exhale, we roll the spine, pressing the spine up into the ceiling, and then tuck the chin and tuck the hips. Inhale, we find our expanse. And exhale, go ahead and roll through. Good. Now this does not have to be your biggest cat-cow, right? Take it nice and slow as the spine starts to warm and gently release. You can find more mobility, more flexibility. Good. Let's come to a nice pause here and find a flat back. We're going to send that left foot back and press the bottoms of the toes into the earth. From here, maybe we press the heel away from us and just allow sensation to arise in that calf. Breathing here. Try not to bounce. I've watched a lot of folks bounce. We want to protect our body, so we're lifted up through the shoulders. And we're breathing into the static posture. Good, big breath in and move that knee back to our tabletop. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So let's take that right foot out nice and long, ball of the foot pressing into the earth, sending that heel away from us. And breathe here. Now, if this is a big, whoa, sensation, just bring it back and then take it again. Good, big breath, bring it all the way back to our tabletop. Excellent. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to inhale, lengthen through the right arm. So it's going to come all the way up towards the ceiling, and then we're going to exhale to thread the needle. Now you can bring the temple down and keep this hand right where it is, right? So my left hand might stay as a stilt. Maybe the palm comes to the sacrum just to ground a bit more, or maybe I come around for the full bind. So breathing here, right, through the side of the neck, experiencing the posture. Good, let's take a nice big inhale. If that arm is up, bring it back down. Just stilt the fingers, send the hips back, and ragdoll that right arm back out. Beautiful. We're going to do the same thing, opposite side. We're going to inhale, lifting that left palm all the way up. We find a rotation through the shoulders, and then we go and thread the needle. Now again, make sure you're nice and secure here. And then if you are and you want to take it a step further, palm down on the sacrum, or we reach for that full bind. Breathe here. Good. Last big breath in. And when you're ready, let's bring that hand down to the mat. Sit back and start to ragdoll that arm out. Beautiful. Excellent. So we're going to find our blocks. Now I'm going to keep my blocks on level 2 here, but you could bring them down to level 1. You also, if you're really open and don't want to use blocks, you don't have to. I'm going to step my right foot forward into a low lunge. So my ankle is in alignment with my knee. Good. And we're going to come up for the crescent lunge. Now, if this is a bit too much, you can just leave the hands on the thigh and allow yourself to stabilize. If you want to go a little further, we're going to inhale, lift the arms up, parallel to the ears. Good. Big breath here. And exhale, let's bring those hands back down to our blocks. From here, we're going to come into half Hanuman. It's very similar to a runner stretch. So we're going to peel these toes off of the floor as we sink the hips back. We're going to inhale, lengthen through the spine, and then exhale, start to hinge over that extended leg. Check out what's going on in the hips, right? This right hip might be trying to hike up, so we're going to send the right hip back and send this left hip forward just a bit. Good. Let's take a nice big breath in as we start to bend deep into that front leg and bring our blocks back. Nice. Take the knees nice and wide, toes to touch. We're going to send the hips back for a child's pose. So from here, an option is to place the hands stacked on top of each other and just allow the forehead to come to the hands. Take a few deep breaths here. Good. Let's start to deepen that breath. So we're going to inhale, come all the way back up to hands and knees. And we're going to take our blocks again, and this time that left foot's going to step up. So we're in our low lunge with our knee down. And you can see that my knee is in alignment with my heel. And from here, we're going to take that crescent lunge again. So maybe you crawl the hands up on top of the thigh, and this is where you stay. If not, we're going to join in a crescent. So the arms are going to rise parallel to the ears. Just breathe here. Big breath in. And exhale, let's go ahead and find the blocks. Beautiful. So from here, we're going to find that half Hanuman on this opposite side. So we're going to send the hips back. That toe starts to shine up towards the ceiling. From here, we'll inhale and halfway lift. So our back is going to get nice and long and straight here. And then when we are ready, we're going to hinge over our hip, keeping that back nice and straight and flat. If the belly's touching the thigh, you can go ahead and drop the head. Now check out your hip. This left hip tends to try to shrug forward, so we're going to send it back and send that right hip forward. Good. Big breath in. We'll start to walk our blocks back as we bend it deep into that front knee. Good. Let's sit back for our child's pose. Bring the knees nice and wide. Maybe you stack the palms. Maybe you press the hands into the earth and send the hips back. And we'll start to inhale, come all the way back onto all fours. Beautiful. We're going to move through our tabletop into a gentle seat. So let's meet in staff bent knee. So our knees are bent. And maybe the hands come underneath the thighs. And we're just going to lean back so that our feet pop off of the earth. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you play with lifting one foot and then the other for boat pose. Maybe you bring the feet all the way up. Maybe you start to play with letting go of the hands. Whatever feels right for you. So just play here. And know that a little bit of shake is good. We're releasing tension, releasing trauma. From here, you're slowly going to start to lean all the way back to come all the way down to the mat. Let's bend the knees. And let's bring the knees into the chest. Wrap the arms around the shins, and just rock gently from left to right. Good. Now, my absolute favorite way to come into our final rest is to either bring a bolster underneath the knees, or you can take your blocks to right about here on the thigh, and they're going to be at an angle. So you're slowly going to come all the way down. Take up as much space as you need. Allow the palms to open, facing up. Allow the body to get nice and heavy here. Allow the breath to be natural and flowing. Maybe you start to allow the body to get heavier onto the floor. Maybe you just tune into the breath. So for those of you who are new to Shavasana, it's one of the more challenging postures because the mind begins to chatter as we aren't moving, as we find stillness. So just stay with the breath, the sensations that arise in the body. Know that any experience is totally normal. We'll stay for a few more breaths. So just start to deepen the breath here. We'll wiggle fingers and toes, just rocking through wrists and ankles, bringing some movement back into the body. Maybe the arms come up overhead and you stretch out like you're waking from a nap. Now from here, mindful of your props, right? I like to kind of clear them away if I can. I'm going to bring the knees into the chest and then slowly start to make my way over into fetal position. This lower arm will take the head to be a little pillow for the head. And just allow the body to settle into this new posture for a moment. From here, we're going to elongate the legs out long, and we're going to press the hands into the earth to slowly come all the way up into a gentle seat. Find whatever props you need for your seat. And we are going to meet with our hands in Anjali Mudra. And from here, we are going to allow the heart, mind, and body to be filled with gratitude for this practice, for its healing quality, its availability, its accessibility, for the fact that we are here together experiencing it. Just take a moment to feel gratitude for yourself for showing up today for your own health and wellness. And then gratitude for someone who supports you on your wellness journey. And then let's just feel some deep gratitude for all the beauty that is in the world that inspires us. Allow this gratitude to overfill your cup. And I thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Om Shanti, Om Peace, and Namaste. I hope you enjoyed this first class of What Will Be Many from Yoga by the Lake, and this is a little snippet of what we do during a longer session in the studio. So if you've ever been curious and didn't know if it was a good fit for you, this is a great way to start. I hope you have a absolutely beautiful rest of your week. If you have any questions, comments, and you'd like to know more, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe to this channel. I'm constantly posting new videos about not only yoga, but the creative arts as well. June 10th is this Saturday, and it is our second Saturday creative wellness retreat. So we'll be doing a nature-inspired yoga session in the morning and then moving on to acrylic painting after that. So I hope that I see you then. If you're interested, just shoot me a message and I'll make sure I get you the right forms for that. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful and beautiful rest of your week. I have to turn this off now. So thank you.